Hey everyone, I'm so excited to join you in your Harvard home group today. I'm so thankful for all of you guys that we get to do life together in community. Today we are continuing with our series, Build the Wall. And I want to talk to you today, I want to tie in together the symbolism found in Nehemiah's story to the spiritual gift of encouragement. So here's why a topic like that I believe is important. In a worldly culture which often looks to break people down, to break us down, God has instructed his people to build others up in the most practical ways. And it's super simple, but it has incredible impact. And he calls us to do it in every area of our lives, every place that he puts us, in our homes, in our families, in our work environments, as we're running errands, in our church community. I believe that encouragement is probably one of the most underestimated spiritual gifts. So before we run forward, I want to make sure you understand what I'm not saying. When I'm talking about encouragement, I'm not talking about a personality thing. I'm talking about a prophetic thing. You see, in 1 Corinthians 14:3, it says that the one who prophesies speaks to other people to build them up, to strengthen them, and to give them comfort. Come on, think about your own experience with prophetic encouragement. I'm sure that you have countless memories of just how it moved you, how it empowered you. It makes a difference in our lives. For some of you, words of encouragement may have even changed the entire trajectory of your life. That phrase in 1 Corinthians 14:3, build up, when you dig into it, it actually means to call near or to restore hope. Now, just for a minute, I want to give you some New Testament theology on prophecy. So Jesus reveals the Father's perfect will for the prophetic. He shows it to us in the Gospels at its core. He shows us that the prophetic is a ministry of connection. Jesus lived connecting others to the thoughts, the emotions, the plans of the Father. That's why Revelation 19:10 says the very testimony of his life is a spirit of prophecy. I want to keep it real as I'm talking to you. And so I just want to remind us of the things that have gone on, some of the things that have happened over the last few years. It has left quite a few people feeling exhausted. There's been fear. Some people have had to combat fear and disappointment, even some hopelessness. People all over the globe have voiced that they feel like things were just falling apart. Ironically, in the book of Nehemiah, the people that we read about in Jerusalem experienced similar things. Let me read you two verses from chapter 4, verses 10 and 11, and I'll show you what I mean. The strength of the laborers is giving out, and there is so much rubble that we cannot rebuild the wall. Our adversaries also boast. Before they are aware or anticipate anything, we will come in among them and kill them, and we will bring their work to a halt. So again, this is the people of God underneath Nehemiah's leadership, and they come to him in the midst of this building plan, and they speak what I just shared with you. So what does Nehemiah do? Well, in verse 13, it tells us he goes back and he positions people on the wall at its lowest places, at its most vulnerable points. The places where the wall is most exposed, he places people there with weaponry. Stay with me. God's going to take us somewhere with this, I promise. The imagery that I'm seeing is that the walls in Nehemiah's day were actually a positive thing. So they represented protection. Now, 1 Peter says that God is building us. He's building us into a spiritual temple, and that we actually carry a role as spiritual priests. So let me ask you, What does a temple represent? To me, it represents a meeting place between God and humanity. And in this place of meeting, I feel like God is saying that His will is that everywhere that we go, we would be offering to others an opportunity to feel as though that they have encountered Him. Like, that's our call. He's building us up as He calls us to build others up for the sake of them being strengthened and comforted and, in a way, brought into a spiritual connection with God Himself. As I get ready to wrap this up, I want to share with you something interesting that I found from Nehemiah chapter 2. It's in the 17th verse. That verse implies that the rebuilding that Nehemiah and his new friends in Jerusalem were doing would actually cancel out shame. You can read it for yourself. Look it up again, Nehemiah 2:17 in the International Children's Bible. When I saw that rebuilding had the ability to cancel out shame in Nehemiah's day, I immediately heard the Lord speak something to me. And I just want to release it to us now. It was Isaiah 57:14, and that's where God speaks to the prophet Isaiah, and he says this: build up, clear away, remove all of the obstacles, take up every stumbling block out of the way of my people. And as he spoke that to me, it just confirmed to me one more time what I started today's Harbor at Home with you, saying to you. And that's that I feel strongly that God wants us to embrace the spiritual gift of encouragement, and that He's inviting us to build others up in every sphere of influence that He places us in. So your call to action today, just say yes. Say yes. Start just by practicing. Ask Him every morning, God, will you highlight one person to me, at least one person to me? And will you tell me something that you've got on your heart for that particular person that I could share with them in my own unique way? And then be faithful to do it. I believe that as you do, that we are going to see people all over this city, all in our families, as we're running errands, as we're in our workplaces, we're going to see them built up with this spiritual grace that we read about today briefly through the testimony of Nehemiah. And the world around us will be the better because of it. Thanks for joining me today, guys. As always, we've got Harbor at Home, we've got questions included so that you can go into your group discussion time, deep dive, and I'm blessing your discussions as you finish up your Harbor at Home group today.